Hello, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Hard Choice, Simple Steps for Showing Up. My name is Brad Draper. I am your host. I am grateful to be with you. Pardon for me not having a voice. Allergies this year have royally sucked. They rocked me. Holy cow, did they rock me. They don't normally do that, but when they do, my immune system is an overachiever, and it absolutely rocks my soul. So, post-nasal drip, haven't had a voice for a week and a half, but we're doing it. We're getting after it. And that's what you do in life, right? You just keep moving because you said you would. You don't do it because it's convenient. You don't do it because you like it. You just do it. Had a conversation the other day. This is totally off topic, but it's kind of the whole just do it thing. We were in Boise, and we were with my wife's family. And her grandmother is just so intrigued by my diet. Because I, for the most part, eat the same things every day. I will put in a few nuances here and there. If Michaela makes something or I make something for the family, I can swap it out. But for the most part, I stick to my core 7 foods. It makes life easy. It's easy on my body. It's easy on digestion. And it keeps me on track for where I want to go. And one of those foods is, or I guess 2 of them, one's cottage cheese and one is Greek yogurt. It is my primary protein source, those 2 things. And I was staying at our grandmother's house. Michaela was out camping with the boys. I stayed at home with our baby. And I had dinner, which was just cottage cheese, some peanut butter, and some fruit, some dried fruit. And her grandmother asked, "Did you have dinner?" I said, "Yes." "Did you just have cottage cheese again?" "Yes." She goes, "Man, you must really like cottage cheese, a lot. You eat it every night." And I responded with something I think that jarred her, that shocked her. I said, "I don't eat because I like it. I eat it because it gets me to where I'm trying to go. I eat it for nutrition. I eat it for sustenance. I eat it for the macronutritional value. I don't eat it because I like it. Do I enjoy it? Yeah. Can I switch it around to make it not so monotonous? Yeah. But for the most part, I don't eat because I enjoy the food. I eat for a purpose. That's it." And that was so mind-bending that I don't eat because I enjoy it. I eat for a purpose. How often are you doing that in life? How often are you doing things specifically for a purpose as opposed to, because I enjoy it, because I like it, whatever else? So much of tasks in life to move the needle, they're not enjoyable. Doing things for work, not really enjoyable. All the monotony of charting and analytics and analysis, it's not the most enjoyable thing when I'm doing it. But it's something that needs to be done. Therefore, I do it. So doing this whole, I do it because I love it or I like it, whether it's food, whether it's tasks at work that need to be done, whatever it might be, you do things because they need to be done. Plain and simple. Now on to the topic that I actually want to talk about, which is going back several years ago. There was a time in my life where I went to all the rooms, all of them. I went to every networking event I could go to. I was in paid networking groups. I was constantly reaching out, trying to find what events were happening throughout the week. And I was going to 1, 2, 3, 4 networking things a week or more. Some were paid, some were private, some were all-inclusive, some were VIP. They were just all over the place because I was trying to rub shoulders with as high up the food chain as I possibly could go. I wanted to be like them. Therefore, I wanted to be with them. I wanted to be included. I wanted to be in the same rooms with the 7, 8, 9, 10-figure guys and gals. I wanted to rub shoulders with them. I wanted to do what they did. It's kind of this whole fake it till you make it. The whole becoming and just do it. And then as you just do it, you become it. That's what I did for years. And the interesting part is so often I would go in these rooms, rub the shoulders, have the conversations. They were great. They were wonderful. They were resourceful. And then nothing followed up after them. It quickly turned into, "Oh, you can't actually keep up with us." or you're not keeping up with the Joneses, or you can't go out to these restaurants all the time or go on these trips. Hey, let's go to Mazatlan. I can't go to Mazatlan right now. Let's go to Bora Bora. I can't go to Bora Bora right now. I don't have a budget for that. Making those up. But they just say, let's go on random trips. And I didn't have the ability to. I couldn't keep up with their lifestyle because my income did not match theirs. Even though I was in the room, I was adding value to the room monetarily, I could not match them. And so slowly I got dropped off, one room after another all the time. So I was always looking for these new rooms and chasing these new rooms. I found home in several networking groups, some paid groups, some free groups, and I gained tremendous relationships along the way. And then at one point in time, now we're looking, this is November 2024. October, November 2024, about that range. I just decided to stop going. I decided I can have better use of my time than all of these things. I could be with my family. I could be moving my business. I could be making meaningful connections and relationships one-on-one with people, meaning going out to lunch or going out to dinner with specific people, inviting them, which I have done ever since, to build independent, individual relationships. I stopped trying to be in the room with them because I wanted to be like them and started being one. I started being a person of influence. I started being somebody that creates impact. And wouldn't you know, after 12, 18 months, I get calls from those groups. Hey, can you come out? Hey, can you come to this event? Hey, can you come to this meeting? And my answer has been no. I've been exercising the power of saying no. Because when I say no to those things, I say yes to other things. I open up new caveats, new doors, new opportunities by shutting down those. I used to say yes to all the events because I didn't want to miss anything. I had FOMO to the utmost degree. But then I realized I was missing out on other opportunities like spending time with my kids, being with my wife, taking care of things and needs at home that were unspoken but absolutely necessary. I started fulfilling those things. And wouldn't you know, life became a little bit more fulfilling. Started becoming more full, having more meaning behind it versus just going from event to event to event. How can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help you? And I can think of like one person that actually took the advice I gave or took the opportunity I gave or took the connection that I made and did something with it. Most of them are just success zombies. They just go from event to event to event and it makes them feel like they're moving the needle. But in reality, they're just burning time. I started paying attention to my 10-figure friends and how few events they went to. I thought that was interesting. One of which, 10-figure exit, started a new venture. He's given himself 3 years to have a multi-10-figure exit. From start to exit, 3 years. Multi-10 figures is the goal. And he's probably going to hit it. Not probably, he will absolutely hit it. He's a stud. But I was talking to him. I said, why don't you go to any events? He said, because I don't want to waste my time. I have very limited time. And I want to either spend that time doing things I love, which for him is cars, spending time with his wife and kids, or spending time in business. That's it. And I took that to heart. I love cars. I'm passionate about cars. I'm kind of a car fanatic. I don't currently have any super crazy ones. I have an Audi S5, which is a lot of fun car, but it's not like an exotic. I'll get there though. Just wait. But I'm spending time in business. I'm spending time with my family. I was in a meeting the other day and somebody asked me, what do I do? And I said, without thinking about it, I said, well, I'm a full-time dad. And then if you think about work, I do the analytics, I do the bottom line, I do the culture building, I do all these things within our company. And she sat back and she said, you're the first person that ever has responded to that question with, I'm a full-time dad. And then I asked her, what do you do? She said, I'm going to take your cue. She said, I'm a full-time mom. And then beside that, I do this stuff in business. Where you place your focus, you really do find in life. My focus lately, because my daughter is now coming up on, or my daughter, by the time this releases, she'll be 7.5 months. And we have all of these things in line with my family, getting them squared up, getting them in routines. I have transition kids that are transitioning from one age to another and thought processes to another, helping them through all of these. So it's all familial that I'm working with. I'm placing energy into these things. I stopped trying to become those people that I sought, whatever you want to place them on, this pedestal that I put them on. I just did. I don't know why I did, but I did. And just started being one. I started being that person of influence. I got a message last night from somebody saying, hey, you used to mentor at this place. Can I interview you? Yeah, sure. If you come out to me, I'm not driving to you because you're an hour away. I used to go to that place every month, but now I don't because I'm consolidating. I had a conversation some time ago with a friend, and I asked him, how are you? What are you up to? And he just started railing off all the business ventures that he's diving into and all the pokers and all the fires. And he's just finished it with, I'm overwhelmed and I'm just doing all this stuff, trying to make ends meet. How about you? I said, well, I'm doing quite the opposite of you. I'm removing all of my pokers and I'm leaving one poker for work that is. It's my business, that's it. And he was actually pitching me on trying to invest in something. I said, no, thank you. I'm fully invested in ours. Have been for 2.5 years. And that is my sole focus. One thing. All of my energy, all of my attention, all of my effort is into that one thing. That's what I learned from my 10-figure friends. All focus is in one thing with business, family, and hobbies. That's it. And they don't have like 1,000 hobbies. They got 1 or 2. So their day-to-day is pretty basic. It doesn't go from meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting in all of these different ventures. They might go from meeting to meeting in their company. That's it. Something that moves their company's needle, raises their bottom line, that increases their margin, that makes their company money. That's it. And that is something that I've strived to do over these last 18 months. And it's interesting to see how our company went from dwindling, would probably be a good word, struggling, scuttling, almost. Not scuttling, it wasn't drowning. Well, it was drowning, but not by us on purpose. To we're doing really well. We're almost to the point of thriving. We're so close. But what we have accomplished in 10 months dwarfs what we did in the previous 14 months before that. Dwarfs what I've done in the last 4 years. And in fact, that 10-month time, most of it was done in the first 5 or 6 months. And now we're just hitting the final touches, which just takes so freaking long. My wife and I were having a conversation and she said, little did you know that the biggest struggle you would have in business is patience. So I'm really, really good at working 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 hours a day. I've done it for decades. I'm really good at just hammering down every day, 7 days a week, and going nonstop. But I'm learning to be good, to be patient. I'm learning to be good to wait for our employees to get the tasks done that they are assigned, because they are tasks I am incapable of doing. And in fact, these people are extremely difficult to replace, and they are very talented. And what they're doing has never been done before. There's no blueprint. So they are researching and figuring it out as they go. What we're building is never been done before. Therefore, it takes longer than you would like. And that's okay. Because when you build things of epic proportions, it's all worth it. No matter how hard the climb is. The view from that top is going to be unbelievably epic. I'm excited to share it with you as we go. I'm excited for you to scale, to grow. I want you to think about, are you going to all these rooms to become like somebody, or do you just simply need to decide and be them? What do you need to do? What conversations do you need to have? What relationships do you need? What needs to happen in your world so you just simply become and are the person that you're seeking versus just constantly chasing, which by definition means you don't ever have. Think about that. Have this conversation with your friends and your family. Share this episode with those people you feel could benefit from it. It is the only way the show grows. Find me on socials, Mr. Brad Draper. You can find me anywhere. Let's have a conversation. Like this thing, subscribe to it, download it for future listenings. Until next week, I love you guys. Bye.